many people, there are games that maybe aren't exactly perfect, but they hold a special place in people's hearts as if they were. For me personally, that game is Super Mario Galaxy, and maybe its sequel. There's a really good reason on why many people consider these the best Mario games out there, and personally, I can agree. From the environments, to the music, to the power-ups, there's a lot to love about this game, but rather than just praise this game to no end, let's talk about the main topic of this video, the Galaxies. There are tons to choose from, all from different skill levels and with all different themes. So I thought, for the month of Mario, I thought I would list my top 10 favorites from both games. These will be ranked on their level design, the music, visuals, prankster comments, and overall enjoyment, and in some cases, the green stars. And as always, my opinion is opinion. My opinion is not fact, so feel free to let me know what your favorite galaxies are in the comments. Anyways, I'm rambling on. Let's move on to number 10. What better way to start off the list than with the very first galaxy you play as in the first game, the Gateway Galaxy. After a relaxing game of hide and seek and chase with some rabbits, you meet Rosalina for the first time. Mysterious yet gentle, she's really good for setting up the scene, though I'm questioning her mother skills as she gives her youngest to Mario. Things really start to heat up as this is followed by dodging meteors while collecting star pieces, saving a Luma from a giant Goomba, and regain your first Grand Star. I wouldn't be lying if this opening didn't start off with a bang. Like most good opening levels, it starts teaching everything you need to know in a nice simple way. Jumping, launch stars, star pieces, enemies, yellows and blue switches, and stars, both regular and grand stars. And of course, we can't forget about spinning, the number one feature of this game, and it does it really well. From attacking enemies to saving yourself from platforming, it is a really great way of showing off what the Luma can do. It may lean a little heavy on exposition and dialogue, but it's never to the point of really being bad. But it doesn't just teach you all that, you later get access to the second star here, the purple coin mission complete with the red star, a fantastic flying power-up that works like a dream within the galaxy's orbit. Doesn't feel incredibly bloated like other free-roaming purple coin missions either. Plus the fact that the red star can pull coins towards you with a spin is also a plus, and the fact that the red star can be found nearly anywhere and can also be stopped and positioned anywhere on the planet. I know I'm talking about this one simple power-up a whole lot, but frankly, if it wasn't for the fact it's just locked between one level and the hub world, it'd probably be one of my all-time favorite Mario power-ups. While this is a great opening level, I wouldn't say it's the greatest in gaming. And frankly, the purple coins is just starting to show the cracks that it has. Again, it can get a little dialogue heavy. I guess that makes sense, this is the beginning of the game, but I feel like other games have done it well without dialogue. And it's also kind of disappointing that other concepts such as giant Goombas and keys aren't the only things just used in these levels. But none of them really ruined the stage or anything. It still more than earns the number 10 spot. It's kind of weird on how it takes so long to unlock replaying it though. When you think of the Galaxy games, what do you think of? The beautiful scenery, the orchestral soundtrack, the platforming challenges, all are valid answers and a grand spectacle for sure, but in Starshine Beach's case, less is more. It feels a little odd putting Starshine Beach here, I won't lie. While it's not a big orchestral epic adventure taking full advantage of platforming and skill, it feels cozy. While you are given an objective, it gives you a large, open, literal sandbox to play in. The cabana, the two towers, the floating bouncy thing. It gives a lot to play around with in this level, plus it gives you a lot of exciting things to do with the power-ups. The cloud flower with climbing the tower to get it, then using that flower to climb another taller tower, and Yoshi with the dash pepper for running across the water, the blimp fruit for flying up for goodies, and the doggy paddle for making it look absolutely adorable. Look at him! While the levels aren't anything too special, they're just climb the tower and get all the silver stars, they still are a lot of fun to explore and they make great use of the open environment. Even when it comes to the purple coins and green stars, they may take a few tries, but when you finally get the angle just right, it's almost like they come to you. And unlike other green stars, messing up isn't an instant loss. Just go back and try it again, simple as that. And although I will admit, the purple coin mission isn't all that great. Sure, it's fun to race around with the dash pepper, and when you get it right, you really get it right, but at the same time, too many slip-ups, which is very easy to do, is it costs you a life, and you don't really have a lot of time to recover. But hey, those aren't huge stains on the big picture, and while it may not be the best of the best, it's great in its own way, and with the inclusion of Piantas, frankly, it sort of makes me want a Sunshine sequel. So while it may not be overall my favorite Galaxy in the game, it's probably my favorite beach Galaxy, and my favorite Galaxy with an open world setting. Typically, the Galaxies from the Hungry Lumas are pretty straightforward. Feed them, beat the challenges, grab the star, then never touch them again. There are some exceptions here and there, and they are still fun challenges to be had. Probably my favorite of these optional Galaxies comes from the first game in Sand Spiral Galaxy, the Hungry Luma of the engine room. Sand Spiral is a pretty interesting case for a level. While it does have a set path for you to get the star at the end, how you get there is up to you. With the Beast Room, you have to work with limited flight and boos chasing after you, while the Boo Mushroom has unlimited flight, but has to deal with boos chasing after you for a different kind of reason, and beams of life that swing back and forth. All the while you're avoiding quicksand, which will drown you in one shot. Then after avoiding knot floods, you reach the second part of the galaxy, which you oddly don't see very often, a moon and a ring, whilst destroying everything in your path with the rainbow star. Or if you're good at timing and jumps, you can always leave a cross or a shortcut. Then once you finally get the star, you're done. You don't have to go back there again. It is a Hungry Luma galaxy after all. They are a one-and-done situation. So you must be wondering why I rank it over Starshine Beach and over Gateway Galaxy, both of which have a lot more content in them. Well, the primary reason is because, while they both are fun, I personally prefer the fun challenge of Sand Spiral Galaxy more. And frankly, while it may not provide everything, it still provides a fun challenge and a bit of replayability, which can't really be said for other Hungry Luma galaxies. While I do like the freedom of choice between the bees and the boos, it's pretty clear that the boos have a high advantage over the bees, primarily because they don't have to worry about running out of flight, just avoiding the lights of death. To tell you the truth, if there was more to this level, or if it had more sections and power-ups like the 2 flowers or the spring mushroom, I'd probably rank it higher, but it still more than earns a spot on the list, and it's the title of the best Hungry Luma galaxy by a long shot. If there's one thing the Galaxy games do that no other Mario games really do, is serenity. Calming, relaxing level design, and music that help give several levels of its own charm and beauty, and Cosmic Cove is a prime example of this. Going over the levels one by one, the first takes place by and under a cove, swimming over slimy creatures and cheep-cheeps before entering a large open pool. It's a fun open area to explore, and with the press of a button on the top of the tower, the ice freezes over to freely skate on top of the waterfall and to the star. Now let's just hope no penguins are left on the ice. But of course, while it's the most famous section, the other 2 missions aren't bad either. The Cosmic Cavern is a fun underwater level that works surprisingly well in 2D. Filling the planet with water after is alright, nothing too special. As for the Star Bunny chase, it's probably my favorite out of all the other chase missions, because of both skating being as smooth as butter, and the challenge of avoiding the black hole. While the levels are fun, the Galaxy's real strong suit is its visuals and music. Like I said before, Serenity is the Galaxy's bread and butter, and this Galaxy oozes it. From the environments that look great, the sections underground and the space feel good, and the music, definitely one of my top 5 favorite Galaxy tracks. Take a listen. While I'm no music critic by any means, this song helps establish the mood this level is going for. As for the green stars, well, they're okay. Nothing too hard and nothing too frustrating. Although I do kind of wish they were hidden a little better, and I wish they used some more stuff in the giant pool in the first level. It's kind of a shame that it doesn't really have anything outside of the one level. I feel like it would have been a great open world level like Starshine Beach. But anyways, I'm rambling on, and that doesn't take away from the level at all. This is still a great galaxy, and is it technically a beach level? Probably not, but still, it's definitely one of my favorites from Galaxy 2. I'm pretty sure anyone who's played the first Super Mario Galaxy remembers this level. While Cosmic Cove is pretty serene, this is the poster boy for serene, calming galaxies. The planets, the surroundings, the soothing music, it's all great to listen to and to play with, and the exploration is fun yet challenging, for this point in the game at least, and it helps teach you more advanced movement options like the spin jumps and long jumps. The first level is quite the spectacle. Everything mentioned before applies to this in spades. Being carried around on pole stars, exploring planets, planets and rocket ships, then leaping from floating shapes to earn the 5 silver stars, all while the beautiful piano plays in the background. First level's quite the first impression, and probably one of the best of what Galaxy aims to do. But that's just the first level. Now don't get me wrong, these levels afterwards aren't bad or anything, but it isn't going for the serene feel the first level had. Second level takes place along a huge airship armada, complete with giant squid creatures, the Koopa shells that you can throw back, and the boss fight with Camilla, which is a pretty decent battle. And then there's a third star with Pteronox. It's alright. I'd say it's sorta on the track to being more relaxed like the first level, but I'd still say it still does its own thing with its battle with Pteronox, the huge spider infestation, and web slinging across different planets. There's also the secret star in this level, which takes you to Yoshi's only appearance in this game, as a wooden planet where you test out your combo skills on some Goombas. And moving on to the combo levels, there are 2 to be found. One for the speed run, where you have to go through the first level only under a 4-minute time limit, and the purple coin run, where you go through all the different shapes from the first level, only with a different pattern and some tricky jumps to be made. While the first level may be my favorite level, and probably one of my favorite levels in the whole first game, I still can't deny that the other 2 levels are anything but bad. They still provide their own fun gameplay, and for the time that you do those challenges, they're pretty challenging for a newcomer. I'd say it well earns the title of one of the most famous galaxies from the game. If you've played any Mario game, pretty much past Super Mario Bros. 3, I think you're guaranteed to run to a lava level and or an ice level. Typically they range in quality, and the Galaxy games are great at them. It's funny how one of the best in both categories is the combined Freeze Flame Galaxy. Freeze Flame is broken up into 3 main parts, Lava Land, Ice World, and a mixture of the 2. While both of them do use both ice and fire greatly, I'm going to start talking about the Lava World first. While it's not bad, it's definitely the lesser of the 2 halves. The lava portion of the galaxy has a lot of great platforming sections and fun gravity sections, along with introducing the Fire Flower, which you use to burn urchins to ash and light torches. As for the Ice World, you're climbing up a huge mountain to a fortress covered in frigid waters and freezing enemies, as well as a bonus star where you scale the entire mountain. It also shows you how to skate. It does take a moment to get used to, but it's a really good way of getting around and not dealing with ice physics. It also introduces my favorite power-up in the whole game, the Ice Flower, allowing you to skate over the frigid waters and over water spewers. While the Lava World does have some fine platforming, it doesn't hold a candle to the ice section, which has a nice open world, even better platforming, and pretty fun challenges in scaling the mountain and with the battle with Baron Burr. The 2 themes come together in the final star, where you have to deal with both frigid and burning liquids, and then you do a long skating path over anti-gravity and lava towards the star, and this includes a cosmic clone raised soon after. I think my only real issue with this galaxy is the purple coin mission. I do like the option to explore freely, but finding every coin takes so long, they're so far apart, and if you happen to miss one, it's a long climb back up. But even with that, I still wouldn't call it a bad level per se, just a bit more annoying, and even then, it's probably the best of both worlds, without a doubt the best lava and ice themed galaxies in both games. When you think about it, the Galaxy games are probably Mario's greatest adventures yet, in terms of the scope anyways. I mean, where do you go after the Final Frontier? And frankly, I don't think there are any levels in either games that feel quite like an adventure than Slimy Spring Galaxy, the last optional and overall one of the final galaxies in the story mode. While Starshine Beach and Cosmic Cove are great water levels in themselves, this is without a doubt one of the best water levels in the whole game. Each section of the galaxy has their own challenges and makes this journey a lot more fun. The first section, after going down a huge water slide, takes you into an underground pool area, complete with snoodles, but fortunately the Koopa shell does make it a lot easier to take them out and traverse the area. The second section has you going up and down a ramp, avoiding urchins and moray eels. The third section, after taking a huge dive, takes you into an underground facility, complete with opening doors, rings, and booze. It's a lot of fun to go around this section with the Koopa shell, especially since the Koopa shell's light can take out booze in one shot. And finally, there's one last steep ramp that you have to climb up all while avoiding urchins. finally taking you out of the caves and to the treasure chest where the star is being kept. In hindsight, sure, it is pretty short, especially for this late in the game, but since all the sections are completely different from one another, and the fact that it's fun to traverse through, it makes it a lot of fun to go through again and again, which you'll probably have to do with the chimp challenges and the green stars. The green stars themselves are pretty easy to find, if not a little hard to reach, and the chimp challenges, I'll admit, I don't really like them that much, but this case is an exception, primarily because it gives you a lot of leverage and a lot of enemies to take out. And one last note, while Wii games aren't gonna win Graphics of the Year anytime soon, I love how this level looks, especially in the coves right before you go swimming. It makes it a lot more fun to explore around. I guess that's a great word to describe this stage. Fun. It's fun to go through, both for points and for exploration. While it's not the first stage due to a calming environment and a nice scenery, it's definitely one of the best of what it does. Well, almost one of the best. We still got 3 entries to go here. Admitted, everyone who's played this game expected Gusty Garden to appear somewhere on the list, and honestly, I can agree. Next to Space Junk Galaxy, it's one of the first game's magnum opuses, and one of the most famous Galaxies. Each of the levels start the same, with you floating over pits through flower petals, complete with piranha plants and vines. Then after about the second planet, the level takes you in 3 different paths, one for each star. The first star takes you to a garden maze, chasing down a star bunny who can pass through hedges, make sharp turns, and can be very easy to lose if you're not careful. It's a tad annoying, but it's not impossible, plus I love the scenery of the planet personally. The second star has you taking out Monty Moles before taking you to a large area filled with giant fruit, slamming into the buttons to make a giant worm emerge from apple to apple. Ew. Finally, you reach the boss of the level, Major Burrows, a fun challenging fight where you have to ground pound at the right time to send him flying. And finally, there's a third level, which takes a very different approach. After passing the first 2 planets, you enter a large cluster of planets complete with spiky plants, boulders, and a golden chomp. If you get the rainbow star from getting the mystery coins beforehand, you can quickly nab a secret star. If not, you'll enter the second section of the level, a very different take where you grab star pieces while avoiding electricity, then platforming on steel platforms with changing gravity and cannons. I'm not really sure why this section is here of all places, but it's still fun nevertheless. And then there's the comets. At this point, the levels start getting a bit tougher, and these comets are a prime example of that. The Daredevil run is an even tougher version of the existing Major Burrows fight, and the Purple Comet mission has you going through the previously mentioned maze with coins all around. Fortunately, not all of them are required, and skipping a few will ruin your chances. So overall, this Galaxies probably has the best things that the first game had to offer. Level design, visuals, variety, challenge, and my god, the music! All-time favorite track from both games right here. So what keeps it from being number 1? Well, while it is my favorite themed Galaxy and my favorite Galaxy from the first game, the other 2 Galaxies have a little bit more in different areas. So, you've made it this far. You collected 120 power stars, you got all the comet medals, you defeated Bowser, you got yet another 120 green stars, and you put the max amount of star bits into your bank toad. Your reward for doing all of this? The game personally gets down your level and says to you, "You're really good." Stop that! Like every Mario game after this one, what you're rewarded with is the ultimate challenge for any Super Mario player. In this case, the Grand Master Galaxy. Each planet is a trial of some sort, and every last one is as unforgiving, if not worse, as the last. Starting off with Yoshi fluttering over bullet bills and Paragoombas via daisy chaining, then flipping all the switches while robots shoot lasers at you, followed by a Cloudflower section with electrical fields all around. Shrinking platforms while avoiding rings of death and octoshots, pull starring over electric bars where tricky maneuvers have to be made, and then finally at the end, a series of hammer and boomerang bros coming in from all directions. Taking out the 3 boomerang bros at the end earns you the star. If you've gotten this far and just binged through the old game like a psycho or like me, you should know how the game works. But even for the experts, this is no laughing matter. A simple slip up anywhere can be hard to recover from, and it tests your skills in nearly every way. I'm personally just glad they didn't throw in green stars, but okay. Actually, maybe I would prefer green stars. If you snag the Comet, your reward is the game pulling no strings, the perfect run. What's so bad about the perfect run, you may ask? Well, 1 hit, no checkpoints, Certain enemies are replaced with even stronger ones. It's hell, to say the least. And just to set up some context, when I first started recording this, I had the max 99 lives. When I was finished recording and I finally beat it, I had 8. I'm not sure if that's a hint on my skill level or how to show how hard this level is, but you get the picture. But at this point, why give up? You already got every teeny tiny little thing. This is without a doubt the hardest thing in both games, but it's not without cause. This is the true finale, and what better way to celebrate than throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you? And when you finally kill the last boomerang bro and take the launch star to Rosalina, it's really something. May not be the biggest prize ever, but it's more than worth it. And having Rosalina free to talk to at any time is a true way of showing you really are a super player. While number 1 isn't as tough, it just adds a little something the Grandmaster Galaxy doesn't really have. If you're wondering what that one thing specifically Grandmaster doesn't have, it's a story. Mario isn't a bestseller in terms of plot by any means, but giving significance to a location is one of the best ways to create tension and make a level special. That's why Bowser's Galaxy Generator is number 1. So, after 6 long worlds, 60 stars, and chasing after Mario's special one, you see the Comet Observatory itself being drained by the galaxy. Bowser may have talked about universal domination, but this is probably the first that it truly shows the galactic might. While the Grandmaster Galaxy perfected everything you learned up to this point, you still play around with nearly every power-up, Yoshi, fending off enemies, and has this terrain in both 2D and 3D. It's another perfect way of showing what you learned across the game. Each section highlights a different power-up and a different ability. Starting off with the first section, after you defeat a bunch of Hammer Bros, you have to use the flowers to fly all the way down without being cast by lava. The second section has you drilling through the planet itself, dodging bonsai bills while avoiding other obstacles in the way to the star. Next is the 2D session with the Cloud Flower, complete with lava and wind to blow you around. And a pretty fun area where you can just collect a whole bunch of coins. Hope you don't mind getting hurt though. And finally, there's the section with Yoshi where you use 2 of his power-ups, the Dash Pepper to avoid a closing lava door, and the Blimp Crew to avoid giant lava monsters as you cross over a giant lava pit with moving blocks. I know I just kind of briefly talked about each section, but all of them are great challenges in and of themselves, and they greatly set the scene and show what you have learned across the entire story. This is truly a showstopper. The level design, the setup, and the music, which is a pretty good orchestral piece, but it's perfect for this level in question. This Galaxy, it's so great, it almost like it has no flaws. Well, almost. The first phase with Bowser is just fine, a bit trickier than his last 2 encounters, but after a fake out with the Grand Star, the second phase begins. And where the problems lie, it's way too easy, especially for the second form. He stands in place for too long, takes about half a minute to get to you, takes about 4 hits to go down, and if you do get hit at any point, a coin pops out to heal you. I'm not gonna lie, it is definitely a disappointment for the final level of the game, but after all of that, I still don't think it's one of the worst final bosses in all of gaming. Disappointment for sure, but the visuals, the new orchestral soundtrack, and the mood that it sets, it's all perfect for the final showdown. If the tides were turned, if he was running away, or if he had more health and or sporadic movements, it would be a godly battle for sure. Also, if you really wanted to stretch it, that's not the final phase of the battle. This is. So after you defeat Bowser and get the Grand Star back, you meet up with Rosalina for oddly the first time in this game. You bring your child back, he steals your hat, and the credits roll. So, despite all of the final battle, this is still probably one of my favorite final levels in gaming. Sure, the last phase kinda sucks, but the build up to it, the platforming challenges, using all you've learned, and the music in all the phases, this truly makes it my favorite Galaxy from both games. True, it kinda saddens that the battle takes over any discussion of a level. It's far more than just that. Even the Green Stars and Prankster Comet, you have tricky yet fair platforming challenges to reach, a great ending to the main story of Galaxy 2, as well as the first game starting off with a bang. This one ended in a blast. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. Don't go away just yet, because I have an honorable mention in the form of Melty Monster Galaxy. One of the more fun level galaxies for sure, and the Rock Shroom Power Chip is super fun, but the Green Stars and the Chimp challenges can just screw right off. They're challenging, but not in a good way. But anyways, that's my list. Let me know in the comments what your favorite galaxies are, and if you're interested in more Mario content, consider joining me on my 24-hour Mario stream, March 31st. But until then, see you later!